Welcome to everybody. Anybody who's coming for the first time? Okay, there are plenty of people. And who all came in the morning session at 11 o'clock? Okay. So today I plan to talk about choosing a worthy goal in life and why it is the first and foremost thing that we should be concerned about. Why is it so important to have a goal? Is everybody comfortable with English? Okay, Prabhu. You understand Hindi? Okay, I'll try to use both English and Hindi. If you don't understand anything, please raise your hand. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. All of you are very young people, right? I guess some of you are going to college, some are still in school, some might be working as well. So, usually at this juncture of our life, people have goals, people have ambitions, people have some plans about the things that they want to do in life, about what they want to become, what they want to achieve, right? Even if some of you may have not chosen or fixed a goal, you might be looking for one. Or even if you are not looking for one, you'll be looking for one in some years. So, uh, can we have some suggestions, some comments, some answers from the audience about their goals that you guys have chosen for yourselves? Please raise your hand, don't be hesitant. Yes, Prabhu. Okay, to be successful in life, could you please be a little more elaborate? What do you mean by success? Okay, to be an actor, a writer, or a model, and that would get you fame. Right. Anybody else? Come on, people, you must have goals. Yes, Prabhu. To be an entrepreneur. Okay, great. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu. A government job. Yeah, that's very helpful in getting married. Anybody else, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu. A web designer. Right. Web designing interests, Prabhuji there. Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu. Police sub inspector. Why not inspector? Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. Great. Yes, Prabhu. Advancement in spiritual life. Great. Yes, Prabhu. Being a great share market investor. Share market investing. Oh, that's a very tough field to be great in. Politics? Okay, so many of have many goals. So some of you may want fame, like Prabhuji said. Some of you may want money, like our share market wannabe expert Prabhu. right? Some of you may have, uh, you may want esteem in society. Some of you may want power. Some of you may want security, like the government job. So, all these things are the facets of life that attract us in this young age, right? Because that's our measure of success, that's our measure of happiness, because that's what we have seen in our elders in society. Somebody is in police is respected, somebody is a lawyer, anybody doesn't mess with him, right? Somebody is in government job, there are lots of girls lined up. So it's good to have a goal. Now, why is it good to have a goal? Why does having a goal make a difference in us achieving it? Let's say there are two boys, both want to be cricketer, both want to play internationally for India. One is very determined for it. He has a strong conviction. He wants to be a cricketer. The other one also wants it, but is not so serious about it. He goes to movies sometimes, misses practice, sometimes plays with friends some other game. And the other one who is serious is practicing every day for 5 to 6 hours. So the chances are, if both are equally talented, let's say, the chances are that the one who practices more will get to play for India, right? And the difference why he practices more and the other person doesn't is because of his conviction for his goal, his determination that brings out his perseverance for practice. इसलिए वो इतना ज्यादा मेहनत कर रहा है, क्योंकि उसका एम पक्का है, पूरा फिक्स है, उसको वही बनना है. अगर दूसरे वाले का भी इतना फिक्स एम होता ना, तो वो फिल्म देखने नहीं जाता. So that's one point that we have, that if we have strong conviction towards our goal, then there is more chance of us achieving it, right? And if we have a goal in the first place, then our efforts are directed in that direction, right? अगर गोल ही ना हो तो आज क्रिकेट खेल रहा है, कल बैडमिंटन खेलेगा, परसों ताश खेलेगा और फिर पब में जाएगा या कुछ भी. लेकिन अगर गोल है, then his efforts are directed in that direction. He is thinking about it, he is practicing it, and that makes his chances of being successful greater. Now, some of you have told your goals in life. Let's understand why we want to achieve these goals. Why do we have goals in the first place? Usually, the thing that we make as our goal is because we see happiness associated with that goal, right? Anybody disagrees? We think that if I achieve my goal, I will be happy. And if I don't achieve it, not so happy. So we associate happiness with the achievement of our goal. But is there really happiness in achieving that goal? Are the people who have achieved their goals in life happy? That's first point. So if we look closely in our society only, we will see that people who have achieved their goals, who have worked hard in society and have achieved their goals, are not so happy. They are happy for some time, but again, their life becomes miserable. All the things that bother us in life are back in their lives. So, why is that? Why is that when we, even when we achieve our goals, still we are unhappy? The reason given by rishis and munis, people who have contemplated on these things very deeply and have realized, not just theorized, remember, realized in practical life, seen it happening. That reason is that when we have a desire for anything, when we have any desire in this material world, that agitates our mind. Our mind is vibrating, agitated like this. And when that desire is fulfilled, the agitation stops or slows down for some time. Then again, the mind becomes agitated. And that's why for some time they are happy, and after that, misery comes again in the life. So, why is it that the mind, when agitation stops in the mind, we become happy? So, the answer given is like this: when there is waves, there are waves in the lake or in the ocean, then you can't see the reflection very steadily. But when the ocean becomes calm, then the reflection of moon will be very clearly visible. Similarly, when the mind is agitated, the Atma or Paramatma is not reflected well in the mind. That's why there is no peace. But when the mind becomes still, the bliss from the Atma or Paramatma is reflected in the mind stuff, and we become peaceful. So that means, is peace or happiness is not in achieving the goals, but is in the God or soul. And when that is reflected on the mind stuff and when it is peaceful, we feel a little bit of peace or bliss. It's not complete bliss because it's just a reflection, it's not the real thing. So there is little peace, little happiness that we have when we achieve our goals. So what does that mean? That any goal you have in life, whatever it is, even if you fulfill it, you're not going to get anything. So now, who still has goals in life? Yes, Prabhu. You wanted to be an entrepreneur.
I still have that goal because to orient myself in life, to see the path where I want to be in a few years, and to be orderly with regards to that goal, I need to have a certain pathway that I pursue in my life.
Prabhuji is saying that he still has that goal because that will bring structure to his life. Right, Prabhu? Anybody else? Right. But what will that structure bring you? If you become entrepreneur, you are structured in life, you have a set pattern, you are not deviating from it. That will still not bring you happiness. So what's the plan then? Let me tell you. I told earlier that why we have goals is because we want happiness. We associate happiness with the achievement of our goals. But the thing that we fail to understand, or the thing that we are ignorant about, is that happiness cannot be achieved in this material life anyhow. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that this world is dukkhalayam asashvatam. It is the place of misery, it is the house of misery. and it is temporary, impermanent. So we cannot ever achieve happiness by setting a material goal and achieving it. Nobody has done it in the history, nobody will ever do it. Then what do we do? So Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita that this world is a place of misery, and if you want to achieve happiness, worship me. Now that looks like a very narcissistic thing to say. Don't you agree? If I tell everybody every day, morning and evening, worship me, what would you say about that? But Krishna does say it. Why? Because one, he is talking to his friend and his devotee Arjuna, to whom he can tell all his secrets without any hesitation. Prabhuji on Google Meet, Vivek Bajpayee Prabhu, could you please turn off your mic, or you, if you have a question, you can ask. Haribo, thank you. So, why is there a chance of achieving, not a chance, even surety of achieving happiness and bliss if we worship Krishna? That's because he is Satchit Ananda. Ananda means bliss. Remember, I may have used word bliss earlier, but what I meant by achieving in this material world was happiness. There are two things that are different: happiness and bliss. Happiness has an opposite, that is distress or suffering. Bliss doesn't have an opposite. And by doing anything in this material world, by achieving any goals, we can never be blissful. We can be happy for sure, but we will become distressed again because the mind will become agitated again for sure. The only way to achieve bliss is by achieving or realizing Krishna. Now, why do we want bliss in the first place? Because we are also Satchidananda. Sat means eternal existence, Chit means eternal or infinite consciousness, and Ananda means infinite bliss. So we are also of that nature only. That's why we always want Ananda. That's another thing that we are seeking it, looking for it in the wrong places. But what we want is Ananda. Now, next question comes that it's fine. Nobody has achieved happiness or bliss in the material universe, in the history, nor will anybody achieve it in the future. Agreed, let's say. But has anyone achieved bliss by following the spiritual path? Who has, Prabhuji? Any answers? Prabhuji says all the great saints have achieved bliss by following the spiritual path. How do we know, Prabhuji? Why should we believe them? Right, that's fine, Prabhuji. Why should we believe them? Process is when I follow the process, I may achieve the results. That is doing it. Why should I believe in it and do it? My question is, why should I believe in the first place?
Because if we see like that, then we can't believe in anything.
Yeah, we can't believe in anything. That's fine. Maybe they are lying. Maybe they are deluded.
But masses are not deluded so easily, right? And the examples come up from very different places. But there was not, in olden time there was not that much better connectivity, right? So if same thing is occurring in lots of different places, then it's true, right? Why would some people make up argument? If people make up new stories, then that's different. But if all things are same and the process are like same, then we can follow it, right?
Right. The Prabhuji's point is that it is occurring at many places throughout the history. So at least, at the very least, it is worth investigating. There might be some truth to it, there might not be, but at least it's worth investigating. It is the only case, or it is the only class of cases in history who claim that they have achieved bliss, eternal bliss, never diminishing. Never diminishing. There is no suffering, no sorrow in their lives. How can it be possible? I want that. So it is at least worth investigating. How do we investigate it? They have said some things, either we believe them, or if we don't believe them, the most we can do is look at their lives. If we look closely at their lives, how they lived their lives, was it a selfish way of living? Were their actions coherent with their words? Or were they actually speaking the truth? Right? So, if we read about the lives of great saints, all our doubts vanish. We actually come to believe that yes, what they are telling is the truth and that is the path to achieve bliss. That is one way that I pointed, because nowadays most of the people, and especially in youth, people are not that agreeable. They question everything. That's fine, you can question, but then do your proper homework, do your research. If you want to question something, then you should be willing to follow it up with your investigation and your research. Don't just question something and then back away like there are trolls on the internet. Right? Don't be a troll. Be a sincere person. At least that much we can look forward to in the life, being a sincere person, right? Not trolling people anonymously on internet. That's a very cheap and coward thing to do. So, if we question something, then we should be willing to follow it up with our investigation. But still, there a better path exists, and that is to believe in the first place. Because ultimately, through our investigation and through our research, the conclusion that we are going to come to is have faith, have belief in the statement of the saints and scriptures. Why don't we start with that in the first place? That will save us time and effort. So now that looks to me like a worthy goal to have, to realize God, because that will actually bring me happiness, bliss, eternal bliss, no suffering, no sorrow, forever. Now, let's say we make this our goal. We have set it as our goal. But just by listening to one lecture, you may not be convinced, or you may deviate tomorrow or after a month. So, the next thing that we have to do is create strong conviction for this goal. Why do we need to create conviction? When we want to become cricketer, it's very easy to create that conviction. But when it comes to realizing God or walking on the spiritual path, it becomes very hard. Why is that? Can anybody answer, Prabhu? Why is it that to walk on the spiritual path, on the path of realizing God, it's very hard to create the conviction in that goal. But when we want to do something material, when we want to achieve some material goal, the conviction comes easily. So the answer to that question is that for many, many, many lifetimes, we have been entangled in this material world. And one thing that carries forward from this birth to next birth to next birth to all the births, one of the things is sanskar. Now, anybody knows what sanskar is? Impressions on the mind stuff. Can anybody explain? If you have some vague idea, it need not be correct. Just raise your hand. What is sanskar, Prabhu? See, there are two things that we carry forward to the next life every time. Only two things. One is the account of our actions, कर्मों का खाता, कितने अच्छे कर्म किए, कितने बुरे कर्म किए, सबका लेखा जोखा एक एक लिखा जाता है. That we have to carry forward in the next life. And the second thing is sanskar. Sanskar is the impressions on the mind stuff. So, in our subtle body, there are many components like mind, intelligence, ego. So, on the mind stuff, every action that we do leaves an impression, and that impression comes up again as a desire to perform same or similar action, and that is called sanskar. Like you may have seen or heard about some child prodigies, right? कोई 5 साल का बच्चा चेस में सबको हरा रहा है, कोई 7 साल का बच्चा इतना अच्छा पियानो बजा रहा है, बीथोवन बजा रहा है, right? So how does that happen? Because he has sanskaras from previous lives. That's why we have so many material sanskara related to our material world in our mind stuff, that it's very easy to make a conviction about any goal in the material life. On the contrary, it's very hard to make a conviction for spiritual advancement or to realize God. So what we have to do is continuously pump our mind with the information association regarding these things. We read, we chant, we do kirtan, we listen to lectures, we perform sadhana, we do dhyan, everything. If we keep on pumping it, and as we gather more information about this subject, our doubts get cleared and we can form a strong conviction. Now, why is it so important to have conviction in the goal? As I told, as I started with that example of two boys playing cricket, wanted to be cricketers, right? One who has strong conviction can do practice very easily. It comes easy to him. He's not bothered about the heat or the rain, he just wants to practice. The conditions, the atmosphere, the environment doesn't bother him. And on the other hand, one who has weak conviction, he'll say, आज गर्मी बहुत है, आज रहने दो, कल चलेंगे. That's why it is very important to have conviction for our goal. So we have learned two things. One is that any material goal we set, doesn't matter what it is, cannot ever bring us happiness. Second is, only worthy goal that we can have to achieve bliss, permanent bliss, cessation of suffering, is realization of God. Third thing that we know is to realize God, we have to practice. For practice, we need strong conviction. Otherwise, we won't practice. And to build strong conviction, we continuously, regularly need to pump information about the subject into our mind so that we stay firm on the path. Otherwise, we will very easily deviate because we are habitual of enjoying material things. We have been doing it for so many past lives. Any small deviation and we will भगवान से कल देखेंगे, कल बात करेंगे. आज तो हम चिकन मटन खाते हैं. Yes, bro.
Why we are saying being blessed is better than being happy. And I want to add up something. Like someone has developed this laptop and phone, and they are giving the various of opportunities to others' life. Like they are being employed by that. Then how we can say the happiness is not good.
Happiness is good, bro. Nobody says, I want to be happy rather than sad any day of life. The point is, whatever brings happiness to us now, that thing itself, whatever brings happiness to us, that thing itself will bring us sorrow without exception. How does that happen? Because whatever we achieve will be temporary. It can never be permanent because this world is not permanent. So, whatever we achieve in this world will also be temporary. We will eventually lose it. If you get a job for lifetime or whatever you want, your goal, and you don't lose it for lifetime, eventually you have to die and then you have to be apart from it.
On the job, I have had something for the rest of the people who are living in the world. Then how we can say if someone is only chanting God and I was hardworking for the happiness and being the valuable for the others. Then
Right, I understand your question, Prabhuji. We will definitely come to this. This is our next point. Then, do I mean to say that you don't do anything materially at all? Right? Only chant, only come to temple. We will come to this. And your first question was, Prabhuji, happiness and bliss, right? So, one more thing that I want to add is we have never actually experienced bliss in this life. Never. The only thing we can experience in this life, connecting to our material ambitions and their achievement, is happiness, never bliss. And we have no idea other than what saints have said who have achieved it, that it is incomparable to happiness. Happiness is nothing in front of it. ब्रह्मादिक के भोग तक विष सम लागत पाए. You know, in scripture it is said that there are many planetary systems in our universe. We are somewhere in the middle, Earth, Mrityulok. Above us there are Swarg and Janlok, Taplok, something like that, and at the top of it Satyalok, that is Brahmaji's lok. Below there are Patals, Rasatal, Talas, whatever, right? So we are somewhere in the middle. And as we move towards upper planetary systems, the enjoyments become many fold. Many fold. Whatever we enjoy, the highest enjoyment that we can get in this material world, it is nothing compared to what devas are enjoying in Swar. And that becomes manifold in the higher world, manifold in still higher world. And the topmost planetary system in this world is Brahmalok, Satyalok, where Brahmaji resides. And saints have said that Brahma dikke bhogs wish sam lagatta hai. They consider the enjoyments present in the Brahmalok as poisonous, as poison. They don't even look at it. People who have experienced bliss. So we have no idea actually what bliss actually is. And I told you, Anything that brings us happiness will definitely bring us sorrow in its wake. So we were at conviction, that we need to have conviction for our goal, and that can be achieved by pumping our mind with more and more information about the subject so that our doubts get cleared and we get a strong conviction. Now, some more things related to material goals and spiritual goal. You all might have heard of prarabdha. Can anybody explain? Raise your hand, Prabhuji. You don't have to be right. Prarabdha. Yes, Prabhu.
मीन्स कि आपको वो चीज मिल गई है गॉट द थिंग
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
भाग्य
Bhakya. That's one way of saying it. Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Previous life karma.
Previous life karmas.
something which is inevitable
Something which is inevitable.
outcome of our like past action
Outcome of our past action karmas. Right. You are some more or less on the same track. So let me explain. There are three types of karmas. Actually, let's say there is a register of our karmas. एक खाता चल रहा है अपने कर्मों का, ठीक है, शुरू से लेके अब तक. उस खाते में बहुत सारे कर्म हैं, अनंत जन्मों के कर्म हैं. उन कर्मों को बोलते हैं संचित कर्म, उस पूरे खाते को. एंड देन out of those complete set of actions and their reactions, some are picked up. उनमें से कुछ उठा लिए जाते हैं हमारे जन्म से पहले, before our birth, and that are associated with this life. Our body is given to us with those picked up karmas and their reactions. Those are called prarabdha. Those we have to submit to in this life. वो भोगना ही पड़ता है अपने को. That's why it's also called bhagya, destiny, or something that is inevitable. Okay, so that thing we have to contend with in our life. So उसमें एक चीज होती है कि आपको कितना सुख मिलेगा, कितना दुख मिलेगा, कितना पैसा मिलेगा, कहाँ जन्म होगा, कब मौत होगी, कैसे मौत होगी. ये सब जो कुछ है ये हमारे प्रारब्ध के अनुसार ही होता है. This is all according to our prarabdha and it cannot be changed. It can be changed, but we will not go towards that right now because that is not recommended. So अब अपने को ये पता है कि कितना पैसा मिलेगा, कितना सुख दुख मिलेगा. तो जितना पैसा मिलना है उसके लिए एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट मार के क्या ज्यादा पैसा मिल जाएगा? नहीं मिलेगा, उतना ही मिलेगा. ज्यादा मिल भी गया तो चोर ले जाएगा, कभी किसी कोर्ट केस में चला जाएगा या कहीं बीमारी में चला जाएगा या सरकार छीन लेगी. दैट्स वेरी डेंजरस. तो पॉइंट बीइंग कि अपना जो मटेरियल गोल है, जितना पैसा मिलना, जितना सुख दुख मिलना, वो तो मिलके ही रहेगा. उसके लिए ज्यादा टेंशन लेने की, लोड लेने की जरूरत है ही नहीं. ऑन द अपोजिट, अच्छा इसमें एक चीज और, क्या आपने को बस सोचने से मिल जाएगा क्या? रात दिन बैठ के पानी 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 पानी, प्यास बुझ जाएगी? सिर्फ डिजायर करने से नहीं मिलेगा, कुछ एक्शन साथ में करना पड़ेगा अगर हम उसको अचीव करना चाहते हैं कुछ तो भी. ऑन द अदर हैंड, जो अपना स्पिरिचुअल गोल है उसमें उल्टा है बिल्कुल इसका, आपको करने से नहीं मिलेगा. Why is that? You all might be seeing that people here in the temple are very sincerely practicing devotional service, and I am here sitting saying that करने से नहीं मिलेगा. तो कर क्यों रहे? Why cannot we achieve it by performing action? The point is that God is infinite in all respects, all aspects, all respects. He is infinite. Now, if I don't sleep at all and I live 100 years and work 24/7, do devotional service 24/7, still my actions will be finite, will be limited. If I live for 1,000 lifetimes and do devotional service, still my actions will be limited. How can I achieve the infinite by doing finite action? नहीं हो सकता. तो होता कैसे है? भगवान की कृपा से होता है. हम लोगों ने सुना है बचपन में, कभी सीरियसली लेते नहीं इस चीज को, लेकिन एक ही चीज है जो काम आती है, वो है कृपा भगवान की. मर्सी ऑफ गॉड एंड हिज डिवोटीज. तो फिर कर क्यों रहे हैं? क्योंकि भगवान ये देखते हैं कि ये सही में चाहता भी है या नहीं है. अगर हम सही में चाहते हैं तभी हम उसके लिए मेहनत करते हैं, और जब मेहनत करते हैं तो भगवान ये देखते हैं कि अच्छा ये सही में मुझे ही चाहता है और कुछ नहीं चाहता, तो अब इसके ऊपर कृपा करके इसको दे देते हैं. We do not actually realize God by our actions, but because of His mercy. And one more thing that happens by doing devotional service is we clear our mind. अपने दिमाग में बहुत ज़्यादा डर भरा हुआ है अनंत जन्मों से, वो क्लियर होता है. कैसे पता क्लियर होता है? जब क्लियर होता है तब पता चलता है अच्छा ये डर था, ये गया, अब क्लैरिटी है थोड़ी. ऐसे धीरे धीरे क्लैरिटी बढ़ती जाती है, एंड एज we get more clear in our mind, our conviction becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why people do devotional service. Now it all seems so boring, इतना सीरियस और इतना रफ, कोई मजा वाली बात आई नहीं क्या? तो अब ये देखते हैं कि एक्चुअल में होता क्या है डिवोशनल सर्विस से. व्हाई इज इट अ गोल वर्थ हैविंग? जिसको हम पाना चाह रहे हैं ना, वो यार मस्त ही इतना है. भगवान सही में इतने मस्त हैं कि वही पाने लायक हैं बस. He is infinitely compassionate, infinitely loving. He is so sweet कि उनको जो देख लेता है ना, एक संत हैं वृंदावन में, पीछे कुछ टाइम पहले हुए, तो उनका एक छोटा सा वो मैं सुनाता हूँ. उन्होंने लिखा, मधुर मुस्कान निहार के धीर धरेगा कौन, के नारायण तन तजय, के बोरा के मोह. His smile is so sweet that who will have patience after seeing him smile? It is so sweet that whoever sees him smile will either be mad, become mad, or will be mute, will not say anything, or he will die by seeing the smile. He's so sweet. अपने को सबको आंखों से अच्छी चीजें देखने का मन करता है. कोई बहुत सुंदर सी चीज हो, मजा आ जाता है देख के. पहाड़ों में जाते वक्त क्या सीन है यार, क्या व्यू है. उनसे अच्छा कुछ दिखने में है ही नहीं, भगवान से अच्छा. ही सो अट्रैक्टिव. उनकी कोई आवाज सुन ले तो पागल हो जाए, ऐसा बोलते हैं. इतनी मधुर आवाज है. उनका कोई टच मिल जाए तो पूरे रोंगटे वोंगटे सब कुछ खड़ा, कटहल के उसकी तरह. or you won't realize it now. You might be realizing, I might be wrong, but see, God exists in many forms and many moods, right? Krishna himself is a different entity altogether in Vrindavan and Braj. In Dwarka, he is a different entity altogether. There, he is a politician and a statesman. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he is a different entity altogether. In Mathura, he is a different entity altogether. And the way of worshipping him is different in Braj, in Mathura, in Dwarka, in Kurukshetra, whatever. In this place, in ISKCON, Krishna is worshipped as he is in Braj, in Vrindavan. And there he is in his sweetest mood. वो भगवान है, उनके एक एक रोम में, रोम समझते हो ना, एक एक रोम में हर एक मोमेंट पे इनफाइनाइट यूनिवर्सेस बनते और खत्म होते रहते हैं. एक एक रोम में हर एक मोमेंट पे इनफाइनाइट यूनिवर्सेस बनते और खत्म होते रहते हैं. वही भगवान, गोपिया कहती है लाला एक ग्लास छाछ दूंगी, नाच के दिखा दे. तुरंत नाचते हैं. वही भगवान, ही इज सो स्वीट देयर. वहां भगवान, गोपी कहती कि लाला ये गोबर का उठवा दे मेरे सर पे थोड़ा. तो बोलते हैं अच्छा क्या देगी बदले में? तो एक माखन का लोंदा, लिटिल बटर. तो बोले अच्छा ये सारा उठवाना है क्या, कई चक्कर लगेंगे इसके? तो बोले हाँ. तो बोले कि मैं काउंट कैसे करूंगा, कितने लोंदे हो गए मेरे? बोले अच्छा लाला एक काम करती हूँ मैं, एक गोबर का एक टीका हर एक बार तेरे मुंह पे लगा दूंगी. एंड शी एक्चुअली डज दैट. और उसका पूरा मुंह गोबर का हो जाता है भगवान का, और फिर लड़ाई होती है कि अब गिनने में नहीं आ रहा. If you actually do some sincere practice, you will come to know that why is he the only goal worth having. वो अपने सखाओं के साथ खेल रहे हैं जंगल में, वृंदावन में, और वहां पे ऐसी हरकतें चल रही हैं कि कोई सखा समोसे में से आलू निकाल के उसमें कड़वा फूल भर के खिला देता है. कोई बदमाशी करके आखिरी गुलाब जामुन उठा के खा लेता है, और वो यहाँ से गला पकड़ लेता है उसका. बोला दो और बुलाया, बोला पकड़ इसका गला, मुंह खोल इसका, निकाल के खुद खाते हैं. There is never a boring moment with him. Never. कोई उनको एज ए फ्रेंड भजते हैं, उनके साथ एज ए फ्रेंड रहते हैं. कोई एज अ लवर रहते हैं, कोई एज पेरेंट्स रहते हैं, कोई एज सर्वेंट रहते हैं. He accepts all moods of worship, whatever interests you. ये यथा माम प्रपद्यन्ते तांस तथैव भजाम्यहम्. He says in Gita, those who worship me in whatever way, in the same way I also worship them, or I reciprocate. And one more thing, that actually if we make him our goal, we don't have to do anything. All the things will be done by him only. मटीरियल लाइफ में गोल अचीव करने के लिए मेहनत अपने को करना पड़ेगा, और मिलेगा कि नहीं ये डिपेंड करता है प्रारब्ध पे. स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में गोल अचीव करने के लिए अपने को कुछ करना नहीं, करना सब उनको है. अपने को बैठ के उनका नाम जपने का है, उनके बारे में सोचने का, उनकी स्वीट पास टाइम्स को याद करने का, पढ़ने का, याद करने का, उनके बारे में सोचने का, इतना ही है. So I sincerely hope that all you people give some good thought to it, and hopefully you will make Krishna as your goal in life and have a strong conviction towards that goal and actually achieve it in this very lifetime only. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I will have questions now. If anybody has questions, you can ask, or if you want to make a comment, you're welcome. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, one more thing. Actually, Prabhuji asked one thing earlier, and I forgot to see. Whatever you do in material life, if you make Krishna as your goal in life, then whatever you do in material life that is not immoral, that's fine. You can work according to your talent, whatever talent you have. Somebody is very strong physically, he can do some work that involves physique. Somebody is very analytical, he can become a researcher or whatever. Somebody has a very keen eye for details, he can become a lawyer or a patent officer, whatever. So according to whatever talents you have, you can choose your profession and do it. But that can also become a way of serving Krishna, doing devotional service. See, one more thing. क्रिकेट अगर कोई अपना एम बनाता है ना, तो उसको प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए कुछ तो सेटिंग चाहिए, चाहे घर पे फील्ड में मैट लगा के कुछ तो करेगा वो, उसके बिना क्लासरूम में बैठ के क्रिकेट नहीं खेल सकता. बट इफ वी मेक कृष्ण एज अ गोल, we can actually work towards our goal in every single moment of our life, every single moment, even while sleeping. So that's a wonderful goal to have. Okay, yes, Prabhuji, what was your question?